This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodvinetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodvinetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodvinetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Meryl Klimo.
Hey, Meryl. How are you?
I'm good. I love your shirt.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
It looks super fly. It looks cool. For those just listening, you should check out the YouTube, too, and all the ways to see Lawrence's shirt. It looks cool.
Why, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got to switch it up every now and then, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like in a world of like boring outfits, it's nice to like when people are wearing outfits that are actually cool and like have some personality to them.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, I'm trying to keep up with you, Meryl, because you always dress very nicely.
Thank you. My JCPenney outfits really come in handy. I love JCPenney. I will always talk about them because I just feel like that's where I get all my clothes, but I do get complimented on like my nice, like when I wear nice dresses and stuff. And I'm always like quick within 10 seconds to tell people like JCPenney clearance.
Hey, maybe they'll endorse one of your shows, right?
Honestly, it was at one point I almost thought I was blocked by JCPenney because I was posting myself too much and like hashtag JCPenney, and then I didn't hear from them in a while. But yeah, I hope so.
There you go. Well, Meryl, why don't you start off with this conversation today?
Okay, great. I'm very excited to talk to you about this one. Now we know I'm not quite a Swiftie, but I'm definitely like maybe 3 steps away from Swiftyhood. So it's so funny because at one point I'm like, for someone that doesn't care about Taylor Swift, I sure do like a lot of her songs and think about her a lot and stuff. But there's many different Taylor Swift things these days. But what I wanted to focus on is her bonuses. You know, we knew a couple months back that she gave $100,000 to her truckers because we knew that because obviously they had like shared the notes, and it wasn't Taylor herself really trumpeting that. It was more the truckers saying that they were grateful, and then that caught news. And then now we see on the Eras Tour documentary that's just out on Disney, it showed her the crew breaking down in tears as they find out that together she gave $197 million in bonuses. Now, I don't know if you saw this clip, but basically she had her dancers stand around and then she handed the envelope to one of them and just said, "Can you read this to the group?" And like everyone got an envelope, and in it, they bleep out the amount, but it's pretty apparent that it says everyone gets like $750,000 as a bonus for your tour. Because it was pretty much like, I wasn't expecting the Eras Tour to go this well, and kind of as a token of my appreciation, this is your well-earned bonus. And then you can see the dancers like falling to the ground and basically crying, and how much it means to people. Now, of course, just because like Taylor can't do anything without people hating on it or whatever, a lot of people say it's tacky that she chose to show this on her TV show because it shows, they think it's like performative, and basically like, why couldn't she hand it out in private and like not have to make a show of it? But to me, I'm like I'm sorry, but I like seeing, like, that's a nice moment. I'm glad I got to witness that. And even if she is being showy, like, to me, who cares? Because a lot of other CEOs aren't doing this. And like, as if like I feel like I show myself like doing good deeds, or like we all perform a little bit online anyway. So to me, if like, yes, maybe she is human and wants to like show herself giving this insane amount, but like, to me, that's such a magical, crazy thing that I don't hate on someone doing that. Like, I don't think it's in really poor taste.
Uh, I,
What do you?
I agree. I mean, I could actually see both sides of the coin. I could see
Yeah,
on one hand some people saying, well, if you're doing this out the goodness of your heart, why even show it in front of the camera? Let it be something intimate between you and your worker. I get that. And that does make a lot of sense. But playing devil's advocate, maybe this is a way for her to shame other artists and other companies.
yeah. Honestly, because it's really got the conversation going where I saw TikTok about a guy saying that he was part of like the dance artist union, and he was like, "You don't understand how rare this is. Like who cares if she's showing herself doing it? Just the fact that she's paying people a good wage to begin with, like a good industry wage, and then on top of that, they get a bonus because of how well the tour does." Like he was like, this is such a good thing for the industry that she's showing it because this is gonna like shame the other people that don't even give like 1% of a bonus.
Oh yeah, and the thing is too is that there's a lot of money to be made in entertainment. And when you're blessed enough to make the kind of wealth that she makes, I think it's a it's a shame that it's not a standard, but I'm just glad that she is doing what she's doing. And whatever that amount is, whether it's 700,000, heck, even if it's 100,000, this is life-changing money
Yeah,
for her.
yeah,
Okay. So, whether they show it on TV or not, it doesn't matter. I don't think that's going to change them from taking that check because, hey, it's something that, unfortunately, no one else will probably ever do for them.
exactly. And I think like both things can be true at all times. Like I don't like when she stands up and dances at the award show. Like I actually think that takes attention away from other people. And to me, sometimes like that's like her number one cringe behavior to me when it's like it doesn't it's like should be the spotlight on the person and instead sometimes Taylor is like the only person dancing. And I know sometimes people are like, but she's so showing support and but to me I'm like, okay, but you know if you're the only person standing, then people are gonna be focused on you. But like to me, this doesn't seem as cringy as like that, where this just seems like they were filming a documentary and that was like a big part of it. So why not show something that happened, which is like kind of an all hands meeting and her giving the dancers that money. And like I think that's so cool to see a group of really talented, hardworking people get like a really big life changing amount. Like I'm not a hater in that way. I love to see that.
Well, absolutely. And, there's a time and a place for everything. Um, like I went to go see my son a few years ago do his first live concert. And, I met some of his fans and nothing came out about my productions because that's his time. It,
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if I'm going to see him and support him, no, I'm not going to talk about my production company or shows I'm doing because that's his stage, that's his moment, that's his spotlight. Um, some people may think I'm crazy, but you know what? If I'm supporting my son, I'm supporting my son. And obviously, if I'm in a different venue or whatever, that's totally different. I'm going to tell the whole
right.
world about my show and what I'm doing and stuff like that. And it's just a matter of timing. Again, I think she's doing a great thing by giving out these bonuses and stuff. And like I said, I can see both sides of the coin because on one hand, you don't really have to make a spectacle of it.
I
Um,
know.
but on the other hand, it could be a shaming thing for other people. So I guess it all depends on what view you have.
Exactly. I don't mind. And to me, like, even if she is making a spectacle out of it and needing attention, the main thing is she's giving like truck drivers $100,000. And you know what I mean? Like, it would be one thing if she's filming herself saying, like, thank you and hugging them, but she's putting her money where her mouth is and donating so much, and I think that's like really cool. There was one more thing I was going to say. I forget what it was, but yeah, definitely. I think it's very interesting and I love to see it.
That's true. That's true. I commend her for it.
Yeah.
This is a very, very crazy subject here. Drone prisons drops drone prison drops fuel scams around the country.
Oh no.
And no, this isn't an error. Um, apparently, drones are dropping contraband into prisons, and as a result, fueling a growing national security threat. with cell phones delivered by these drones being used by inmates to run sophisticated financially fraud schemes, including scams targeting American citizens. One, what are the guards doing? Because I know there's guards in towers and stuff like this. Like,
Yeah.
how do you fly a drone into a prison and just drop it? I mean, maybe I don't know anything. Again, this is one of these stories, Merle, where I thought it was fake until I did some research and
It's almost like a Mad Libs of like drone, prison, crashing, flying, like just making up words.
it's amazing. And I'm just shocked that they can't stop this. I'm really shocked.
Yeah.
But basically, they're saying it's a big phenomenon where organized crime rings are using drones to smuggle dangerous contraband, such as drugs, weapons, cell phones, and into correctional facilities around the U.S. at an unprecedented rate. Authorities in states like Georgia and South Carolina report that drone drops are daily or frequently a frequent occurrence. This is even shocking that I'm reading this.
Yeah.
Recent examples of items seized from drone drops include a package containing steak, crab legs, marijuana,
Yum.
and cigarettes at a South Carolina prison. Sounds like a great
Sounds like
evening.
a party I want to be at. I don't care about the cigarettes, but the crab legs drop it my way.
This is amazing. And how can they not stop this? Or am I being a little bit too simplistic?
No, I think you're being right. And I think that's like a crazy thing to think about, whether if they're dropping crab legs, like, can't they drop keys to get out of prison, or, like little weapons for nail files, or, things for people to like break their way out. So I think you're not wrong. The only thing I may think is maybe like, there's outside, people will have, whether it's like a basketball court, or they'll have a lot of like prison things will be outside. Maybe there's like a specific corner that they knew that they could fly into, or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. It's just amazing that one, they thought about doing this and executing it, but that they can't do anything about it. That part is really puzzling to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I do think that maybe now they're going to be on the lookout more, because also on the flip side, it's like a prisoner could also get money from a drone and then trade with other people for things, and, start to bribe people. So sounds like an interesting plot of a movie.
Yes, it does. Now it says here, taking a look, challenges for authorities. A major hurdle for law enforcement is the current federal regulation. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, classifies drones as registered aircraft, meaning most local and state authorities cannot legally shoot them down. This has forced officials to largely stand by and watch as the drops occur. Legislation is reportedly in the works in Congress to grant correctional facilities the authority needed to counter these drones effectively. In the meantime, prisons are exploring detection technologies such as radar, acoustic, and RF sensors to combat the threat. Again,
Wow.
this is amazing.
It does sound pretty crazy.
I don't know. What do you think, Meryl? What do you think about this?
It doesn't. I know you said you were surprised at first. To me, this doesn't surprise me, because I feel like drones are just so like. Remember in New Jersey, there were just like all these weird, mysterious drones flying and everything. Yeah, so I feel like I'm surprised we don't see more of them, and we just don't see more like spying drones and everything.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing is that with all the things that cannot go through, Congress or the Senate, I would think that things like this they can easily push through because this has no political ties. This is just common sense.
Yeah, but I mean that does. I mean the way that I DoorDash and everything now, that really, if they want to drone me some crab legs anytime soon.
Well, I guess as we're driving down, if we get near prison and we see stuff buzzing around the air, we know what that is, right?
Yeah, I could just see like a pair of like handcuffs and keys or something. Wow. Well, I thought this was really interesting. there's an article about the 5 o'clock dinner crowd. Why are young Americans eating so early? So Gen Z and millennials dinner reservations are reportedly inching earlier as they take advantage of happy hour deals. There's been a trend in early bird specials. They're saying that 5 o'clock dinner time could be one of 2025's most surprising comebacks, as younger generations seem willing to finish meals before the sun goes down. According to data collected by OpenTable, 53% of Gen Z and 51% of millennials in the United States are interested in snagging an early seat. So they're finding that even in New York, like 5 p.m. dining is up 20%. So what do you think? Like, I think when we were growing up, our normal time, maybe for like our age and generations, is maybe like 6 or 6:30. You know what I mean? If you're gonna meet someone at like a dinner, like to me, dinner kind of means 6 or 6:30. But I do love a good like 5 p.m. meeting, because then you can have a nice dinner with a friend and then you can still be home by like 7. And especially with like, you know, wanting to spend time with your partner at night and everything, I feel like you sometimes you get to do both. Because I hate like meeting a friend for dinner and then like not hanging out with Jack all night, you know, like that. Then that makes me feel like a wasted night. So I feel like if you get to do both, that's really nice.
Oh, absolutely. And with everyone trying to, think about health and stuff like that, by having an earlier meal, it could help you potentially go to sleep or even lay down earlier so you can get closer to those hours that you need for sleep every night.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing. I mean, if you're able to get off early enough to do that 5 p.m. dinner, I think that's a good thing. And then, if you get hungry a little later, maybe you have some kind of a little light snack or something.
Exactly. 2 dinners.
But at least this way you're not eating a heavy meal and then laying down too.
Exactly. And I love to, especially at like the fancy restaurants that may be harder to get to. Chances are, sometimes if you get there at 4:30 or 5, like you can easily get in. And so I think instead of having to wait for 3 months, and it is like a good hack to try places that normally you wouldn't try. Now, I also feel on the other end of things that when I go to visit, like, I mean, I know I live in LA, but when I go to visit New York, I feel like it's so cool every now and then to go to like a really late dinner. Like I think that's, to me now it's becoming the two ends of things, where I either want to be eating at like 5 or 10, because I think it's so cool and it feels like very big city to me to go out and meet and like eat dinner at 9:30 or 10. Like that seems like so luxurious.
Oh yeah, you're having a nice little meal, you're watching the skylights and everything. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't do it often, but like it when I do, it feels like I'm so fancy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Whatever floats your boat. And the beautiful thing about it is, as long as you're in between, generally 5 and 8, you still be able to get to bed at a decent hour.
Exactly. I just met 2 of my like cooler younger friends for dinner at like 9:30 somewhere, and I was so excited, and they were like, "You need to calm down and act like you do this a little bit more," because I was like, "Oh my god, we're so big city." And they were like, "We do this once a week, like stop embarrassing us."
They're like, hey, you don't get out much, do you?
Exactly. But yeah, but leaving the house at like 9 to go eat dinner was so crazy to me. But I think people should shake it up and like do whatever the opposite is that you're used to doing. Like if you eat a really late dinner, maybe try to go out for like a happy hour and vice versa. Cause I think it's fun and exciting to like change it up.
I agree. I think we all should do that every so often.
Yep.
Well, um, of course, this has been all over the news. This is a very, very, very sad topic that I'm going to bring up right now. Um, this is Rob Reiner, along with his wife, dies in an apparent homicide. For people who don't recognize the name Rob Reiner, if you're from our generation, with Archie Bunker, he played Michael
Mm.
there. And then, he left that to start doing producing and directing. Um, some of the things that you may have heard or even seen um, would be when when Harry met Sally, the political force. Um, he also, I believe, directed Misery. Uh,
Yeah.
He was also an integral part of An Officer and a Gentleman. So as you can see, he's definitely had his hands in a lot of great pictures from behind the lens. But basically, what happened was authorities came out to his home. Him and his wife was stabbed to death, and the updated news on this situation is that Rob Reiner's son was arrested on suspicion of homicide after the director and his wife were found dead. So, Los Angeles Police Chief Michael McDonald said that officers responded to the Reiner home at about 3:40 p.m. This happened over the weekend. Detectives from the Elite Robbery Homicide Division worked throughout the night and took Nick Reiner, age 32, into custody. They say that our hearts go out to the family and friends of the Reiners. McDowell said during a news conference Monday, a tragic incident. Authorities have issued a search warrant for the Reiner household. McDonald said, calling it a critical piece for our investigation. The director was 78 and his wife was 70. Wow.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodtvnetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodtvnetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodtvnetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like a bunch of old videos now of his son talking about addiction issues and homeless issues and coming back to the family. Like, I do not get a very good vibe from even watching this. Like, to be quite honest, he seems like really arrogant and spoiled and bratty. And like, I understand addiction is sad and all that kind of stuff. But when you do something like this, and it's just like, I have a hard time finding empathy for this, for the son, you know, like he seems really just not, like he just seems evil, kind of point blank to me.
Yeah, per the LAPD, Nick Reiner had cycled in and out of rehab centers and experienced bouts of homelessness as a teenager. Family friends said Rob and Nick got into an argument on Saturday evening at a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's home. In addition to being a Hollywood legend, Rob Reiner also was a political force, an outspoken supporter of progressive causes, and a Democratic Party activist. It kind of highlights issues that goes on with families because no one saw this coming, and you don't know what's going on in a person's household. Honestly, I did not know this myself, so I was actually kind of surprised at the troubles that their son was going through. So who knows what the argument was about if that did happen. And I don't know, Meryl. I mean, why do you think this happens from time to time where you have these very successful people and, they have the children that go off on this deep, dark path?
Yeah, I know it's tough because it's one of those like nature nurture things where it's like they could have given him, I don't know, they could have been bad parents and this person's just inherently evil, or they could be great parents and this person is also, like really ungrateful. This is a situation where like I feel bad, but it's like when I hear homelessness and addiction and all this kind of stuff, like I'm not saying I don't care, but there's a part of me that doesn't have as much, like I just don't really have empathy. Like I don't know, maybe that's really bad to say, but like I just feel like if I don't know, then like stay away or go lock yourself in rehab or something. I just kind of like I think I'm kind of at my wit's end with a lot of this stuff. Because even if you have a disgruntled parent, then like just cut them off. Don't kill them, or like don't ruin your life and their life too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, it's really hard to go into a lot of details without knowing the backstory about what's been going on.
Exactly. The son like just kind of looks like soulless and lifeless too, but I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. We've all had our moments with our parents, okay? And we don't always agree with them. That's normal,
Hmm.
that's life. But to butcher your parents, that I mean, how could that even come across your mind? Or maybe I'm just being a little bit too simple-minded about the issue, but it just really shocks me to even read this type of a story.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, like, it just seems crazy. And I think the fact that the daughter found them, or like the masseuse found them or something, but very tragic. And he seemed like they still had a lot of life in him, and it's just very very tragic.
Yeah, I would say to people, when you're around friends and maybe you notice something going on between family members or whatever. I'm not saying get involved, but just kind of watch. Just kind
Yeah,
of watch. Like for example, if someone's at your house and you see that the father and son are going at it or whatever, without getting into the issue of why they're going at it, maybe kind of calm it down, like, hey y'all, let's have some eggnog, let's sit back, let's,
exactly.
you know,
Especially if the son is someone that has a history of like a lot of abuse and homelessness and stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, I watched like some interviews this morning, and like I don't get a good vibe at all from the son. Like to me he seemed like really entitled and arrogant, and along with his other standing issues. And to me it's also like, if you're gonna kind of fight your parents and like be ashamed or whatever of where you came from, then okay, then like go away and like don't use the Reiner name, and don't attach yourself to any projects, or like don't uh like have any of the success have any help you at all. Like that's to me.
yeah, that's true. Like I said, we'll definitely pray on this, and I'm quite sure we're going to get more updates on this as information comes out.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe people feel differently, but I don't know. But cool. Okay, well this is a weird one to go to, but well, at least my last one will leave my part on a somewhat happy note. Well, not really happy note, but so there's return fees we've all had to deal with ordering something, and then for whatever reason you're like, it doesn't fit right, I don't want it, or I have a double of this, or just like I didn't ask for this. Well, now retailers are going to have some more fees for some returns on holiday gifts. The National Retail Federation says that nearly 3/4 of all stores now charge some sort of return fee, which obviously it's money that we don't get back when ordering a package online and then you return it by mail. Currently, Marshalls and TJ Maxx will now charge $11.99 per package, which will be taken out of the total refund. Macy's charges $9.99, JC Penney $8, and J. Crew $7.50, which is so funny because J. Crew is probably like the fanciest one on the list. And then they have, this is obviously just for holiday returns. They're saying some ways to avoid it is, example, at Macy's, if you join their loyalty program, there is no return fee, which I think is so silly. It's kind of like it's kind of bribing. But I don't know. What do you think about this? Like, having $11 come out of your refund. What if the item is like $17 or something? Now you're out just 12. Like, $12 seems pretty high for me to return it.
Yeah, and I get it that there's a cost to returning stuff and restocking fees. I get all that, but some of the fees are a little bit on the extravagant side. I mean, $11, $12 to return something. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing about it, and you made a great point. If my return fee is like $12 for an item that I bought for $17, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to return it for $5. It's just
I
not even.
know.
And if it's less than that, then obviously you're not going to pay for them to take it back. So uh, I kind of understand the fees and I get it. Why the numbers? It
I don't know.
makes you wonder how they come up with those numbers.
Exactly. I would have to think that this it won't drop the orders immensely, but I have to imagine that this would make people like a little bit more cautious whether they're when they're ordering stuff online. Because like I have a lot of friends that will just go crazy and order like 10 pants, 10 dresses, and then they just try it on and they return what they don't want. And it's almost like they shop, like that's the way that they shop. But now if you're thinking, okay, I have to pay for this and I have to pay a lot of this, then I could see that like causing people to think before they order a little bit more.
Oh yeah. I think where it's really going to hurt is the person getting the gift because
Yeah.
they're going to lose a lot of money trying to return it.
Exactly, because then you get something you don't want, and then now you're out $12. I'm like, no way. I feel like the person that bought the gift should have to pay the return price.
I get your point on that. People may not agree with you, but yeah, I can definitely see your point on
Yeah.
that.
I had a friend who randomly, his mom and his husband randomly have to send him the exact same shirt in the exact same color, and like it wasn't something he wanted and stuff. And then now, so it's like now he has to pay $12 because everyone got him the same shirt, you know?
Not a gift, that's a punishment, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, talk about interesting situations. My last topic is a man was caught writing in the back of a Waymo.
Oh, I saw that. Freaky.
It was very freaky. Again, kind of to me, comes up with some of the issues with these Waymos going around.
Yeah,
That they can't detect someone jumping in the back of the vehicle and riding with them.
exactly. Yeah.
But yes, so a video that's gotten thousands of views on social media shows the moment a woman discovered a stranger in the back of a Waymo car. The incident happened on Monday in Los Angeles. A woman says she ordered the driverless ride for her daughter, and when it arrived, they noticed that the man was in the back trunk. Why the blank are you in the trunk? The woman is heard asking the stranger. I'm trying to figure out the man's response. This blank won't let me out. Okay. Why were you
So
in the
you're
trunk to begin
stuck
with?
in the bag. It's like,
Right.
how did you even get in the truck? The truck, like, yeah, you're stuck in the truck.
Apparently, the man had entered the Waymo after a previous ride, left the trunk open at a drop off. Our sister station, the sister station here, KABC TV, reached out to Waymo, and a spokesman issued the following statement. We're committed to keeping our riders safe and earning the trust of the communities where we operate. This experience was unacceptable, and we are actively implementing changes to address this. Waymo said their rider support team assisted the rider during the incident, who told them they were okay. I don't know if I'd be
Wow.
okay in that situation, but
No, me neither. But I love it that the woman went right after him and like filmed it and was screaming. Like she wasn't like, oh no, so sorry. You know, like she went after it. And hey, why not get your viral moment?
yeah, that's true. But you know, I think and I know we've talked about this over and over again, but to me, yes, there's room for technology. Things are going to get better, and there's always going to be movements going on. But the thing that's amazing to me is that I don't know if the right word is nonchalant, but it just almost seems like when these issues are brought up to the companies that implement these things, it's kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, we'll look into this, we'll take care of it, blah blah blah. But the dangerous thing, Meryl, is that you know this could be a lot worse. What if that person jumped out and attacked?
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
thank God nothing happened, but I think it just addresses the issue of sometimes we need to not stop the movement of technology, but maybe slow it down a little bit so we can probably monitor it a little bit better.
Exactly, because like you said, it's scary enough if it's any car and there's someone in there. But if you're like in a Waymo and you don't have control of it, or if someone just got in and they didn't see someone, and it's like you can't stop the car, you can't turn off to the highway. You know, it's like really freaky.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just glad that everyone was okay in that situation.
I do too. And that person like exemplified what you should do if someone's creeping you out, which is be loud and film it and just like make, even if it sounds ridiculous, like make a scene, because I just think it's never good to just be quiet and scared.
I agree with that. Well, that was interesting. That was a lot of stuff.
I know. We went up and down and all around it.
Well, Meryl, give us something good to smile about. What do you have coming up?
Oh my gosh, I have a really good thing. Okay, this is going to be silly. My next show coming up is January 7th, and I'm doing comedy at a gentleman's club. So, yep. So it's really funny. A lot of it's funny because a lot of burlesque and stripper and stuff like that and comedy seem to go a lot together, where it seems like we as the comedians always dream of being that. And it's so funny how many strippers and porn stars want to be a comedian, and I'm like, no, you don't want to do it. Go stick with what you're doing and stuff. So anyway, they do in LA, they do a lot of shows where it's comedians and then dancers and then all that kind of, we're not combined, but I'm just standing on the stage being a comedian. I'm sorry, everyone, but
so you guys gonna be on the stage together?
No, definitely. I would love that. I would all I want is for someone to be dancing behind me and to my set. That would be amazing. But it's so funny. It's called Plan B Gentlemen's Club, and it's in Los Angeles, and it's January 7th. And I'm making a lot of my friends that are moms come, and it's just going to be a really funny time.
Oh, that sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Right. And I think of it so funny because I think of my friends from growing up, or just people that don't know me. And if they're scrolling through, they're like, man, she's really fallen, she's performing at a strip club. That's kind of sad. And then to me, if they only knew, I'm like, this is my vision board dream. I get more excited for this than the thought of doing Letterman or something. So to me, this is the pinnacle of what I can be doing.
Well, I tell you, if you're in the area, you definitely don't want to miss this show.
I know, exactly. Yeah, it will be a really funny show. And so, we'll see no matter what, but I love doing stuff like this. It's so silly.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. I think it's literally called ha-has and tatas.
Ooh, that's a nice little thing. So I'm quite sure you'll be putting some posts out there with ha-ha ta-ta.
Yeah, exactly. So ridiculous.
Well, everyone, thank you again for watching and listening to us. We really appreciate your support, and we appreciate you sharing and telling everybody who we are. And definitely, you don't want to miss this show that's coming up here.
No, like we said, I know we had a lot of controversial topics this week and the week before. So I always love to talk to people and hear different viewpoints. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, whatever your opinions are on the things we talked about, definitely go to our social media pages and let us know what you think.
Most definitely.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I'm Meryl Klimo.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodthenetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodthenetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodthenetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.